Have you ever wondered what happens if you just don't pay your tax? That's a bold move. No doubt, most of us figure we don't have a choice in this matter. But what if you ghost the ATO completely? You ignore the notices, leave your mind go unread and pretend nothing's happening. Well, I've been working in this industry for a while now. When I first started, I worked in a firm in Hillsview. If you're from Victoria, you will know where Hillsview is. It's a small town away from the Melbourne CBD. And funny enough, I met a handful of people who actually try to avoid the ATO. Some of them even have more than 10 years of outstanding lodgement. So let's discuss one of them today. Let's call him Shane. So Shane runs a small company. In the beginning, he didn't think he earned enough to worry about tax. But then his business picked up. Things got busy and he always meant to lodge his return, but he didn't. And he thought, what's a couple of grand run through a company, eh? Turns out, it's enough to trigger some serious ATO attention. And as a company director, Shane has to deal with two main types of tax. The first one is a tax on the company profit, which is currently 25% for base rate entities. And then personal tax on any drawings he takes out of the company, especially if they are not dealt with properly, they are treated as unfranked dividends. And if his business is GST registered, he also has to lodge and pay business activity statements. Because Shane missed the 31 October tax return deadline, the ATO can impose penalty. The failure to lodge penalty starts at $330 and it increases every 28 days up to $1,650, and that applies per return. So after 6 months, Shane got $1,650 penalty for the company return and another $1,650 for his personal return. So that's a total of $3,300 in penalty just for not lodging 1 year. And laybacks, the same thing. The longer the delay, the more it stacks up. And here's the kicker. If you still don't lodge, the ATO can issue a default assessment. That means they make up the number based on what they know from the bank statements, employer data, assets in your name, and previous lodgements. And as you expect, they will paint the worst case scenarios for you. And to appeal it, you need to file a return. And all of that is just for not lodging. If you owe tax and don't pay, that is a different thing. The ATO will charge general interest charges, currently around 11.34% per year, and it's compounding daily. They can also add late payment penalties. Back in the day, a lot of my clients, just a few years ago actually, around 2020, 2019, the interest rate is not that high. And a lot of people use the ATO like a bank. They owe money to the ATO, enter into the payment plans of maximum terms, which is 24 months, and they pay down very slowly. So because the interest rate with the ATO is smaller, so they can just use them as a bank. Nowadays, they figure it out and increase it very high, so you better borrow from the bank and pay the ATO first instead. So if someone like Shane also pay himself a wage from his company, but not meeting PAYG or super obligations, he could get hit with director penalty notice, a DPN. And DPNs are serious things. They can make directors personally liable. They can even lead to liquidation of the company and disqualify him from being a director for up to 5 years. So what happened to Shane? Well, after 3 years of not lodging anything, he came to us for help because the government has stopped, I think, his family Centrelink or childcare payments. And he got like $9,000 on penalty alone. Back then, it was easier for us to help him or people in that area, and I could get the whole thing remitted, including penalty and interest, because there was a bushfire in the area around 2009, and nearly all people who didn't lodge their returns properly used that as a reason for non-lodgement. And the ATO was very lenient at the time, especially for reasons like natural disaster. Even if it happened a long time ago, they accept the reasoning and waive all the penalties and interest charges. So in summary, the ATO will start with a friendly reminder, and then demand notices, and then they start with penalties. Next come the default assessment, and then interest on the payable amount. Then eventually they escalate to serious enforcement actions for the rebellious ones. For the rebellious taxpayer, they can send garnishee notices to their employers or the bank. That means they can redirect your income straight to the ATO to pay down the tax liability. They can lock down your bank account to recover debt. And if you own something significant like more than $100,000, they can report your debt to credit bureaus, which will affect your credit score. You cannot have a loan, no credit card, no mortgages. And they can go even further. They can take legal actions, so issuing bankruptcy proceedings, or even seizing assets like your car or your house. Next time I will discuss a case where the ATO seizing a house, and that was a very interesting one. And can the ATO stop you from leaving the country? One of the most serious steps the ATO can take is departure prohibition order, or a DPO. If you have a large unpaid tax debt and they think you are a flight risk, they can stop you from leaving Australia. DPOs are usually applied when your debt is over $100,000 and you ignore the payment demands or refuse to cooperate. And if you have a history of long holidays overseas, it is considered a flight risk. So if you try to fly while there is a DPO active, border force will stop you at the airport and deny boarding. So I have a friend work in the ATO in the special task force. Her job is to review Panama paper and identify those people who hide assets overseas. Basically, she will liaise with the police force. So they will go together, knock down people's door literally, and force themselves in the people's home. They will collect their all the documents. And she mentioned like there's one time, that's called a raid. There's one time during her raid, she basically go into a house and she see the person is trying to dispose the paper, the documents. They can even come into your house, knock down your door, and seize your assets. And what if you have two passports? If you go to the airport and only show your other passport, can you bypass the system? Sorry, it doesn't help. The ATO and border force links your identity across all passports using facial recognition, biometric data, and cross-border data sharing. So even if you try your second passport, they can still stop you. And trying to work around a DPO like that, that's a criminal offense with serious consequences. And what if you already flee before the ATO raise any question? In that case, you are still not in the clear. The ATO can still investigate and demand payment, even if you are not in Australia. They can seize your assets, and if you have nothing in Australia, don't forget the ATO has tax treaties and information sharing agreements with many countries. That means the ATO can track your income or assets overseas, even in Switzerland, the land of secrecy, or tax haven countries like Marshall Island. Australia has tax information exchange agreement. They can even alert border force to stop you when you return or work with foreign banks and governments to limit your access to your bank account and seize your asset overseas. So what should you do? Let's be clear, most tax mistakes are not criminal. But if you ignore ATO letters, underreporting, create fake invoice or hiding money overseas, that's tax evasion, and that's when the ATO comes very hard. But here's the good news. Even if you are behind like Shane, you can fix it. The ATO offers a lot of options. You can have a payment plans to pay down your tax within 24 months, voluntary disclosure, and remission for valid reasons like illness, bushfire, or hardship. They will remit all penalties and interest charge as long as it's reasonable. And of course, just get help from professionals. Tax agent can negotiate on your behalf and get you back on track with your lodgement. So yes, Shane finally faced it. He's $5,000 lighter on a 24-month payment plan, but at least now he can sleep and he continued to run his business peacefully. So if you missed your deadline or falling behind, don't be like Shane, just talk to an accountant. Make a call or reach out for help. The earlier you act, the better the outcome. If you find this video is helpful, give it a like and share with someone who needs to hear it. If you get any question, drop in the comment below and don't forget to subscribe. I am Hannah, the tax advisor you can trust. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. See you next time.